Just a heads up, you're not on mute. I can still hear you typing.
Oh. What up, guys? What's going on? K9, yeah, I know. I did not see that starting lineup yet as well. So, welcome in, guys. Welcome in. We got a few people watching. That's good. It's a random Sunday show. I'm still in my white tee, but I do have my nice DraftKings hat on. Hit that like, subscribe, guys. What is up? I figured instead of doing all my picks and stuff as usual, I'll just go live for you guys real quick. We get to talk stacks. We can talk what you guys want to talk about. Ask whatever questions you guys want as well. And yeah, we'll just kind of diagnose what's going on. I threw a few lineups together myself, so I'm in. The weather looks pretty decent. We got to watch Pitt Chicago, maybe a delay there. They should play 9. Everything else is pretty green. New York game blowing in. Maybe Cole's a good pitcher. I like. He's projected the best. We want to start with pitching. Yeah, the Cardinals though, they're not popping on the stack project. Yeah, they're pretty. They're just priced up though. On DK they're priced up. That's hard to get in, and then they're not really. They're kind of mediocre. Yeah, they're okay on FanDuel. I'd say I do like them. They're probably a lower owned stack to get in. So yeah, I'll pull MLB up for FanDuel too. I usually don't, so be able to. Well, I mean, I usually have it up. I just haven't got it up yet. Usually, I already had it up. I have the stacks up for FanDuel. Any questions for stacks? Let me know. I posted the stacks at least so you have an order. Pitching. Let's talk about pitching for both sites. I don't know if anybody had pitching questions. I know I answered one pitching question in the chat earlier. I think he said thanks just now. Yeah, the live stream link is up. Thanks, Mark, for posting that in the Discord. People are not seeing the link.
Yeah, the announcement just went as well. I think the announcement's just on.
I gave it a minute, Mark. I thought the announcement went because we had like 5 people in here, 7 people.
Yeah, no, you're fine, man. But the announcement, the bot that we use to do that announcement, I think it's on a bit of a timer, so it's like it sweeps every X number of minutes, and it obviously picked it up when it did. But I did put the link directly to Dark Knight, or someone was looking for it. So
okay, cool. Yeah, he had the pitching question earlier. He was looking at McClanahan and Webb, or McClanahan and Wano. I don't have much. Who's he talking about? Wano, Wainwright, I'm guessing.
Yes,
guessing Wainwright.
Yep.
I do like Wainwright though. he's popping up a little bit more in the projection. I do like him. Cole's the main guy, I think, today. That Cleveland's been hitting well though, so it is tough. And Chris Archer's cheap. I'd say he's a good play on DraftKings.
I think Cole's the starting point of any pitching conversation today for
I
two
I think so
reasons.
too. So
Going in either direction though, right? Because Cole's easily going to be the highest owned, likely, and highest projected point player on the slate, but he's not Garrett Cole of 2018, 2019 anymore.
yeah, that's true. But man,
And
his price tag on FanDuel is
yeah,
8.8. I don't know how he's
yeah, you
only
can't avoid it there. But a 10-4 over on
wow.
DK,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
do you want to be a little
yeah.
contrarian and take a little less Cole?
I actually like the Chris Archer and Wainwright pairing a little bit. I think the Reds aren't very good offense. So like if Cole's 62% owned and Cleveland has been hitting the ball pretty good, and it's not the Garrett Cole as Mark just said. I think you guys can get off it in GPPs. I don't. I think I'm going to do that too. I might even go. Man, Boston. I really like Boston. Then McClanahan. He's he's facing a good team today too, but his price at 8.7 is really good. You got Luis Garcia against Toronto. That's on the slate too? Toronto is on the slate. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
projecting. That's why they're not projecting well. But he's been looking better, but he hasn't always been that good. Toronto's a good hitting team. Webb's very priced up, but he's playing Washington, so that's probably a good play. He doesn't project as well as like Garrett Cole though. Cole projects really well, so it's going to be a tough fade, guys. But throwing some questions. We got 8 people watching. Let's go. I know it's a random show today. I'm not in full form, but I can answer all the questions. I got everything up in front of me. We can answer whatever. I've been doing yard work and chores today. It's really nice. So I wasn't even going to play baseball, and I was like, "Oh, it's 12. I'm going to go do a show for the guys." So
Somebody had a honey-do list today, huh? You had to get out there on that honey-do
yeah,
list.
and I'm on my wife today too about it because she's taking the dog for a walk and like trying to enjoy the weather, and I'm over here slaving away. So it's like, come on, like busting and busting it out. So she's working now while I'm doing DFS. So that's our deal.
Okay.
Cole has been struggling. Okay, nine's still dropping some good pits in there. Pitt and Cincinnati is a value cheap stack. Yeah, Pitt rates out as a good stack for me today. They rate out really well. They're actually one of the top stacks on my list on the stacks, guys. You can see those every day. I at least post the stacks every day. Today I'm going to talk about pitchers. But yeah, the top stacks. Pittsburgh's on that list. Great value stack. I don't like Cincinnati because I kind of like Wainwright a little bit as pitching. Another stack, Minnesota stack. Let's see where they kind of grade out. They don't grade out very good for overall ceiling perspective, but they grade out well for that value stack that you want. That was DK. Let me look at FanDuel.
Hey, Rody, while you're digging up some of those answers, I know this has come up a few times in this early part of the season. Are we ready to commit to 4 and 5 stacks yet, or are we still thinking that some of the 4-2-2s or the 3-3-2-1s, like where are we at on our stacking mentality here now, 3 weeks into this season?
Well, I mean, yeah, a few random stocks have won, but I mean, the data still suggests lots of leverage with a 5-man stack.
Yep.
I've always stacked 5-man, and I'm probably going to always stack 5-man. I've done a couple 4-4s earlier in the season. That's because a lot of times, if you see me without a 5-man stack on DK, it's probably because I had a late swap issue. Guy got ruled out, changed the
Sure.
stack. I had to make a pivot or something.
And are you generally then going 5-3, or are you very flexible in what you do with your mini stack? Whether
I'm
you
very
make
flexible in the mini stack. Like if I ran
Okay.
optimal, like optimizer, like with our Saber Sim optimizer, I would run 5-man stacks primary, and then I would just let it kind of fill out the rest.
Sure.
Give it 1-1-1s, give it 2-1s. A lot of 5-2-1s have been winning on DK. From what I tracked, I put some data in the Discord a while back. Like 3 out of the last 4 slates have been 5-2-1s, and
Right.
Buxton was in 2 of the last 3.
Yep.
Like even with like just giving like some hints. Like I don't study that often, but it's good if you're a new DFS player to be looking at contests, seeing what type of lineups are winning, what the pros in that contest are doing.
And
Because it was funny the other day, the winner was like a 2-2, what is that? 4-2-2, yeah, something like that. And it was like pretty rare that happened. And then, but the guys, all the lineups behind it was a pro player. They were 5-2-1s or 5-3s. So like he just got the switch, the lucky switch on which guy came out good for him. And if you noticed yesterday, Chicago Cubs scored 21 runs or something. Detroit had 13 runs. So if you're not 5-man stacking those teams, you're not going to win first anyway. I don't know who ended up winning it, but like you could have got 5 really good Cubs in your lineup.
Like, yeah, I had the Seattle stack, but which did well, but the Miami stack was better.
Yeah, and Miami put up a lot of runs yesterday, and Seattle scored a lot of runs last night, though.
Yeah. I had my 5-man Seattle stacks. I had the wrong 5 in a couple of them. I had 3 of them.
Gotcha.
I had them split. I had like 3 of 5 in this one. I had a different 3 in the other one that got there, but I didn't have all 5 together.
Yeah, that's the
second baseman. I think came up with a goose egg yesterday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's hilarious because I think in the chat we were talking yesterday, like a couple of people's stocks were doing really good, but the one guy's like, "Oh, I don't have this guy," and he's like the best guy right now in the stack, and it's like, "Oh, I don't have," and then I was like, "I don't have this guy," he's smashing in the stack, and it's like every day, when you build 1 or 2 lineups, and even though I stacked the Dodgers the other night, I didn't have Muncie's 30 plus points game on DraftKings, so I went a different way on that. I played Justin Turner a little cheaper to fit a little bit more stuff in.
All right. Well, we're 30 minutes out here, so let's grab some of these next questions. So we're getting questions on chalky stacks today on FanDuel. Who do you think is going to be the chalk on FanDuel for stacks?
Ooh, chalky stacks on FanDuel. Well, you just got to look at the percent owned. Looks like I'm on pitching. That would not be a good idea.
I better start filling some of my lineups in the background as well, since I'm a little late. I was doing an episode of On the Mark this morning. So
On the Mark we got coming out. I love to see. I need to catch up on that. I need to watch
3 be out today.
Series. Yeah, I'll have to get on the Mark. Guys, if you haven't checked out our stuff, also hit the like, subscribe. We got a lot of likes today. I appreciate it. As always, we're going to look at the top stacks. Well, the question was highest percent owned. It looks like the Cubs are coming in very high on FanDuel, 30%, 50% owned on Hap at 2.7. These guys are just so priced down. That's the biggest thing with the stack is on FanDuel. They're projected. The number 1 stack for the early slate is the Cubs on FanDuel. We have weather is a concern, but it looks like it should. Yeah, it's blowing left to center, out to 25 miles an hour. That should carry the ball really well. It might be a stack hard to get off, guys. To be honest with you, it's definitely getting the 4 of the top 4 are going to be pretty chalky. Even Villa coming at 26% as well at 2.5. They're just so cheap. 3 guys on 2K on FanDuel, and if we look over on DraftKings for the top owned guys on the stacks. Contreras at catcher is 45%. I mean, if he goose eggs, guys, you beat the field by 50% most likely. Hap at 4.3. They're a little bit more priced up on DK, but they're still coming in all 20 plus 30% ownership on DK. Yeah, that was nice. Detroit Chicago stack yesterday probably carried you very well, Joanne. That was very nice. Atlanta or St. Louis is a better stack. I wish you guys put Sight in there on there, but St. Louis grades out as a middle of the road stack. They're priced up on DK, and the Atlanta, is that on the slate? I don't even know. They're way down on the list though. Yeah, they're on the slate, but they're way down. They're good value. They're still good value on DK, and on FanDuel, they're St. Louis is still in the middle of the pack, and Braves are a little bit down, but they're decent value over there. For that, Twins. I'm trying to read through the questions. Mark, if you see one I missed,
yeah, that's fine. Great thing though, Rody said, which we always appreciate. When you put your questions up, again, put a site, put a specific question. If you ask about 2 random players, this guy or this guy, and they cost 8K and 4K, we have no idea what you're really looking at because those clearly aren't playing for the same spot in your lineup. So just be specific when you can. And Joanne, thank you for thanking us, and glad you did well yesterday. Like here's a go, Green Monster, like Joc Pederson ? Like. Yes, Joc Pederson is a question mark. Yes, Joc Pederson is the guy that plays a sport. Do you want to know if we should play him? Do we not want to play him?
DK. He's about the same price on DK and FanDuel, each site. He's going to get 15% ownership most likely on DK, about 9% on FanDuel because he's a little bit pricier for FanDuel bats price, but still cheap. I mean, he's a cheap player.
Yeah. In lieu of who though, sometimes, right? It becomes important. Like what's the choice you're making here? Pederson or what? You're going to do something different with another player at the same position. You're going to spend elsewhere. What's the, that's kind of the way we can help
Yeah,
you better with the questions.
yeah, and I don't know if he was going to think about stocking, maybe stocking the Giants
Right.
too possible. So like, does he need a last piece giant? I mean, Giants grayed out well today. I do like them. They've been hitting the ball really well. They're a good team. I don't know, Mark. What are you doing today, Mark? You working on your lineups right now? What do you got brewing?
Oh man, it's tough because I'm trying to get in. I got I play those nickels, right? So I play the wiffle ball for MLB and I play the piggy bank shot for NBA. So I got to get 150 NBA and MLB FanDuel lineups spun out here pretty quickly. Thanks to Saber Sim, I should be able to do that in the 23 minutes I have left before the NBA locks. But I'm also trying to get some lineups in over on DK. I'm playing a bunch of contests over there. I'm playing some 20 maxes. I've got some entries in the dollar 150 max, some in the 50-cent 50 max. So again, just so you guys understand, low stakes player, my highest buy-in of the day is ever going to be is $5 right now. That's usually a single entry $5 for NBA or MLB. And then I'm playing a bunch of stuff between the nickel up through the $4 multi entries. And I just try to give myself enough lineups to give myself a chance to make something happen.
Well, that's good. I can't play any of those contests. I can't even see them, so I don't even know what
Which
contests
I
they offer
appreciate. I
for.
like seeing you guys out of my contests, so that's always good.
Yeah, I wish I would have utilized that better. Mark is doing a really good thing. I hope he talks about that in the show, guys. Is when you are a low stakes player and you can still play all that stuff, you guys can learn how to MME with those smaller contests. So if you're not that good with
Exactly.
Saber Sim yet, the best thing to learn is to max enter those very cheap contests, build good lineups, and see
$7.50
how they
gets you
do in that.
150 lineups in those contests.
Yes. And then you can
Really
see if
lets you
they're
experiment.
duplicated, if you're making the right choices. You're not going to win every time, obviously, guys, but it's about making sure the lineup looks good in the contest you're putting it in. And if you can be very good in those contests, then you can eventually move up into bigger contests and stuff.
Yeah, it
So,
lets me try a lot of theory stuff. So when we talk about like, should we be 5 stacking, 4 stacking early in the season? Like there are days where I've X'd out all the 5 stacks on DK and that, or sorry, on FanDuel. I've X'd out all the four stacks on FanDuel in that nickel contest just to see what the 3 and 2 twos do versus all the 4 stacks. Just or do it for 50%, cut out 50% of my 4 stacks. So I'm looking, lets me experiment very cheaply and learn.
yeah, this is a little bit bigger slate. We got some decent run totals. Like Detroit's looking pretty good for run total. They're higher than normal. We got Houston back on the slate versus Toronto still. Houston's a team I like. They're getting no ownership. DK, they're not really showing up as much on the stacks. I think FanDuel, they were a little bit. Yeah, FanDuel, they are a little bit. I think they're priced better. Oh, no, Houston's okay on DK too. They're middle of the road. They're a little low owned guys. So attack Houston if you want. I could do like something like if you're gonna play Chicago, you got to find a low owned stack. So maybe going with like that Houston stack could be low owned. Pick some guys out of there that are low owned. The Pitt Chicago game, man. All the runs that scored yesterday. Man, we got to go back there. I think today, and we don't really have start. We just got starting lineup for Pitt. It did change from projection, so that's going to factor in different as well. So, but yeah, the Tigers are actually popping up there as a top one now. Hang on, let me make sure. Tigers, Rockies, Pittsburgh, Houston on DK, Giants. So Cubs fell a little bit. I think that's because their price, and maybe their lineup changed. Hap Wisdom, yeah, they're Suzuki 6K, Contreras, yeah, they're very chalky. But that weather game's good. Maybe do a mini stack of that game. I know people are talking Chicago, but maybe pick a 5-man elsewhere and then do a mini stack like a Houston 5-man. Maybe you go back to Detroit if they did so well for you yesterday. Maybe stacking them again. Hey, heck, run the same combo. Let's see if they're hot. Teams in baseball get hot sometimes, So I like to chase teams. When my stacks won, I won multiple times with the similar stacks in the same weeks. So yeah. Any other questions we got, guys? Drop your questions in. Appreciate the likes. Hit the subscribe if you're new here. Doing the whole shebang. Everyone's building their lineups. I know Mark's building them.
Yeah, do we want to spend
I haven't started yet. I do the 15-minute thing.
Okay. Do we want to spend 5 minutes on NBA? Any NBA questions for today?
Yeah, guys, ask about NBA. I know we didn't title it, but I did just pull it up. I do have the NBA pulled up. My top guy, Giannis is looking very, very high on the list. Owned high. Levine owned high. Wow, he's only 6'9" now. I haven't played much NBA. Trae Young's cheap. Wow. Some low owned guys. Those what you guys want to know. Shots at Jimmy Butler. He looks okay. 22, still 20%. Aiton's up to 8.5 now, but he's low owned. Could have a big game. Yeah, I know. I don't know if you've been playing Bruce Brown, Mark, on your NBA lineups lately.
I had a little bit of him yesterday, but man, it's embarrassing when you're playing him for 7K, hoping that he goes off, and he does. It's
what happened?
I had a little too much Joel yesterday, and with the injury, I should have backed down on him more. He hurt some of my early lineups. I did manage a couple small cashes, but I had no runs. Now my buddy, who is RBX 88 on DK and is got a different Alien Mare on FanDuel. He took second last night for 25K with the NBA lineup. He 3-pointer missed at the buzzer. I think cost him first for the 100K. So
damn,
that's probably
crazy.
Get him on the show at some point. Probably get him on the mark at some point just to talk a little bit about his experience. He has won 3 milli makers in his DFS career.
That's impressive. I mean, that's a guy I would even like to talk to personally. Mark, you should be a pro here soon after talking to him. Get a couple weeks.
We're old friends from poker, but I'm learning what he can tell me. But what you find is that there's even with you guys that know what you're doing, there's still so much luck in GPPs. It's like you're picking the stacks. You just got to have a strategy, and then you just got to stick to it, right? Like I've listened to some of the other pros out there. What's his name? Blender HD, Blender Hedge. Yep. Is that Jordan Cooper, right? Is that his?
That's one of my favorite guys. I learned a lot talking to him.
I like that his kind of whole contrarian approach to baseball is like he picks the 5 ugliest stacks, or whatever the coming up is the worst for the day, and he just always plays the worst stacks because it's like he'll have so much leverage on the day that stack's going to come through. So he's really hurting like his min cash equity, but he's really maximizing his win equity.
Very true.
At some point during the season. And I love that mentality of just stay committed to that plan. So play your he calls them vomit stacks or garbage stacks, but he's play your 5 worst stacks every day, and somewhere one of those teams is going to put up the 15-run score, and you're going to have so much leverage on the field. So
yeah, I don't disagree. I like that. I try to find a middle ground because I play a little bit more high stakes.
Yeah, it's
we don't need to get totally garbage. So you see me ride a little bit more of these chalky stacks occasionally. Today I might get away from it. The Chicago stacks chalky. I do like Houston guys. I know someone just asked about contrarian stacks. I think that Houston stack's not going to get a lot of love. They got big hitters, guys. Tucker or Jordan. They're all Bregman's been smacking it. They're in the starting lineup, and a lot of them are showing 1 to 4% owned. A few of them aren't. Chase McCormick leading off today. The 1 spot is different for 2.7's cheap, but he's going to get some ownership. But Bregman's looking good, 4.9. There's some of the Kyle Tucker down to 4.5. Home upside. You can get that. They grade out okay. Let's look at some other stacks for you guys. Washington's probably going to come in pretty low on too. They don't grade out well, but Soto can hit a lot of homers. Nelson Cruz over there. I mean, he's not as good, but maybe some sort of mini stack on there. I like. If you really want to be contrarian, you attack Cole today and hope Ramirez hits a dinger. Josh Naylor hit a homer from a yesterday. He's batting cleanup again today at 2.5.
That's a great point though you make though, Rody, about going after Cole? Like that is Bobby talks about that too, right? As you go after against the best pitcher, you don't have to do it for all your lineups, but you can definitely run some lineups out there where you take Cleveland, which is projected to have the lowest number of runs scored on the slate. They're under 3. They're the only team under 3. And you just say, hey, you know what? If I'm crafting 20 lineups, let me throw a couple this Cleveland way. And if Cole has a bad day, you're getting double leverage because everyone's going to own Cole and no one's going to have Cleveland. There you go. Richie Smalls just bringing it up.
Exactly.
Favorite
That's the
chocolate
most
chocolate Cole.
contrarian stack right now today is the Cleveland versus Cole, like you just said, and that would be listing a garbage stack, which you just talked about as well.
Right.
Getting some of these garbage stacks, but you're getting the ultimate leverage, guys. You're good if nobody has that stack and they hit 10 runs on Cole, and Cole has minus 15. Like remember you Darvish a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
He literally had minus 16 or something. One of the chalkiest pitchers on the slate. If you just stack the team that hit the ball on them, you gain so much leverage and you're looking really good. And then now it's about pairing the right pitchers and the right other pieces around that stack to get to the top. And that's all you got to do. But you're getting a lot of leverage that way. And, you know, if you take the Cubs today, yeah, you can do that. You're going to get a lot of owned guys. And then you can maybe have a few low owned guys as well. But just remember, everyone's going to have 50% Contreras. If you have him, even if you play another guy at 10%, you have to have that guy at 10% has to be the right guy. Like, because you're going to have competing with so many guys that have not their chalky stack to beat. Even though you got him hitting 3 homers, he's so chalky, you know. I usually just bite the bullet on those days and just look at it and say, hey, I lost. I don't want to play these guys at 50% ownership for bats like Trout and Ohtani. You know, Trout hit a few dingers last night, which hurt me because, you know, I'm not playing Trout at 40%. You know, he did it. But tonight he goes 0 for 4 and now I'm ahead, you know.
Absolutely.
Detroit plays great in the daytime games. Well, I mean, I hate to be, I never want to create like some sort of reason why, but I mean, it is warmer here today. Yesterday was warm, very warm yesterday. Very warm for bats. I live in Michigan, so are they playing in Michigan? Yeah, they're playing at home. Yeah. Yeah. So yesterday was 80 some degrees. So yeah, it was cranking here early. It's a nice day today. Colorado Detroit game was a good one to target. I think they're a little chalky though. Detroit's got Meadows at 3.9 on DK. Baez looks good. 4.2 on shortstop, but they're chalky. Grossman at 3.4 outfielder cheap. That Torkelson still hitting homers at 2.9 for first base. He's lower owned. Yeah, that stack, you get some lone pieces in that stack. I don't mind that Detroit game still. Yeah, Saber Sim. Yeah, St. Louis grades out in the middle of the road there. They do have a decent run total. They are priced up like Arenado towards 6K. You know, Goldsmith 5.2, but I still like O'Neill, a lower ownership at 4.8. And then, you know, Pujols. I don't really want to play Pujols, guys. I like Carlson in the outfield. Maybe a mini stack there for me, just because they're priced up. Edmund, I've always played him at second. He's leading off. Yeah, they're not getting. You know, no one should be well over 10%. You know, so that's a good stack. You know, I think I'm gonna go with the Houston stack today. Is my stack.
Now, Rody, let's talk about what's your contest selection look like? Do you generally play the same contests every day, or do you pick out different contests within your buy-in range? That's just always the thing I'm curious about.
I usually play like the high dollar one, like the 7.7, 8.88, 5.55.
Right, whatever that one is that day, right? Whatever the amount is, okay.
Usually, I've backed off it a little bit. I have like on the weekends, I've been trying to dabble in some of this. Like I build 5 lineups in the large field contest, like trying to use Saber Sim a little bit and like look at what their low stacks are, and then kind of like making lower owned lineups to practice
Okay.
that strategy.
Yep.
So like on the weekends, I tend to do that a little bit more.
And I'm sorry, and which contest is that? Is that like the $15, like
The
that kind of like
$15
what we call the
one.
quote unquote the lottery, right? On
Yeah,
both
the
sites,
large field. Yeah, when I
they
say
each
large
have
field,
one.
it's like those
Yep.
bigger ones. So I tend to try to take a shot at those. Um, on the weekends more when I build lineups. Like same with NBA. I've been doing a little bit of NBA, but like I'm not taking Bruce Brown at 7K, and I got Jared Vanderbilt right the other day when he had the big game at low ownership, and I got him from SaberSim. Like SaberSim was giving a lot of these guys. So get over and check that out. We have a real cheap package, $65 a month. You get all our True DFS content, stacks, picks, SaberSim optimizer in that. It does exactly what you want to do. Build lineups. You can do everything you need for that. It's a really good tool. I'm using it to kind of match up with what I do. So looking at Saber Sim gives out like the lower own pieces, and I'm trying to build that into my process a little bit. So that's why I'm ready to do like a 20 entry or 50 entry MME. I want to use some Saber Sim. So I'm trying to learn it a little bit at first, and then I might do some bigger drops here, soon. So
Yeah, no, Saber Sim
definitely a
again.
good tool.
Without over promoting the tool, I don't think we have to worry about that. It's a great tool, but it does quite a bit. It's got all these features, things that again sometimes I think just even get overlooked. Like not everybody even realizes. But let me just share my screen just to throw up a
Yeah,
quick
fire it up
example
there.
here. So like this is just like the NBA slate for today, right? And so if you want to kind of like start out in step one for Saber Sim, again, I'm running this off the true DFS projections, but you can obviously pivot and use Saber Sims if you like theirs better than ours for any reason, but ours are here. Um, but my point is, if you want to do kind of like big adjustments, like if you just think the Phoenix score is just definitely under projected, if you just tweak this number here, so I just make this like say 112 instead of 110.5, that has the effect of actually applying that to all the players underlying to that simulation as well. So like that's a simple way to say I think Phoenix is a little under projected on points. Touch the top thing, touch it in small increments though, a half, a 1 point, a point and a half, whatever. It'll find now all the players on Phoenix will get that additional exposure. So you're not trying to figure out like who gets the point. It bumps the whole team up by that small amount. That's a great way to kind of like if you think the Vegas line doesn't something about the team, you think you've got inside information, you've talked to some people and you just have a different opinion of the way the script is going to go on the game. That's a great way to do kind of a broad-based adjustment and then just rerun your build with that, and now it's going to resimulate for all those players with Phoenix having a higher point total. So Chris Paul's going to do better and Booker's going to do better and, DeAndre Ayton's going to do better. Everybody on Phoenix is going to do better because of your projection now. So that's like a simple thing you can do. The other thing you can do again within NBA, and this is just like a quick look at like a quick 150 build, and this is obviously all pretty self-explanatory too, but you can always cap players here. So if you're like, oh, I love Giannis, but I don't love this much Giannis, right? You can easily cap him here. Also, if you're not getting enough Giannis, or Brooke Lopez, he's going to be so low owned, I want to have even more of him. I've got 40%, but I don't want 40%. I want 80%. Set your minimum exposures, right? So you can minimum or max exposure an individual player. That's one way to kind of allow SaberSim to give you a start. The other thing you can do is you can lop off teams. So this doesn't force you to have to go on any one player. But if you don't like the story of the Milwaukee game today, let's just say for whatever reason, you're like, hey, I love Giannis, but I don't want to be so heavy on Milwaukee as a team. Cut that stack down, make this 35%. All your Milwaukee lineups now, just you swapping out for other ones in the pool that are equally built with high EV, with the right kind of structure and build, but now you're not so heavy into them. If you want a minimum set of floor, I want more Golden State. I don't want only 18%. I want at least 33% of my lineups on Golden State. It'll go ahead and adjust that. So you can do it at the player level, the team level, and again, you can also do it at the stack level. Stacks, again, not as much of a concept in basketball as we worry about because correlation's a little less than it is in baseball. But if you generally don't want some of these stacks, you can X them out here. And again, I can show you that a little easier on the baseball build. But so remember, you've got kind of step one where you lock in your projections, but you can make kind of broad changes to people. Then you've got, step two where you actually run your build and you can then kind of cap stuff based on the way that it comes out. And then again, step three is just about matching the lineups that you've built to the entries that you've loaded. So here, what I'm doing is I'm running the piggy bank, which is my 150 max entries. So there I want to use my 150 build for those lineups. For my single entries, I want to use my single entry build, and then I can match those up. And so that's a quick way for me to do one or two builds and then go fill in 160 plus lineups real easily.
I definitely like that. It's very quick to build stuff in there. Good little tool. So
Jeffers scratched.
yeah, it changes the Minnesota stack a little bit. A lot of times I stack my 5-man with a catcher. But I mean, you might include it. I mean, you got some good catchers today. Jeffers is one in that lineup. We did the roundtable discussion. He was what would have been the one I would buy if if I did do the buy the jersey for the lineup when you win 100K. He's the guy, the low owned guy that was in that for 26 points that day that when he first came alive last year. So definitely a key piece. Yeah, there's a lot of good catchers like Detroit's catcher you can do low owned. White Sox catcher. I like Archer today. I think I'm going to run him. And then just grab a catcher in a stack, I think, is what it comes down to. They're just Contreras at the top. But yeah, there's not that many good catchers. So yeah, definitely in your stack probably. I don't know. I might get off the Houston stack. I don't like the Houston stack as much. Maybe I'm going to do a 3-man. I like Bregman, Tucker, and Alvarez today. This Cub stack is roaring at me. How'd your lineups turn out, Mark?
Yeah, hard to say. I'm going to make some adjustments. I got to pull some Jeffers lineups now and rerun some of those. I had him in a couple of different, just a
Got you.
few
You did
small
have him in a
pieces.
few.
Just again, when you're doing the 150s, right? So I'm going to have him probably going to end up in a couple lineups. He's got to come out now. So that's actually, I actually should show that because because again, we're close to lock now, right? So when you're close to lock, one of the things you can do in Saber Sim is you can use the quick swap tool. And you can either say, go get me all the players that are currently declared out and replace them with the best available, or if you just know a specific player. So here, I'm just going to show you what the all out players does. Austin Slater and DeBone getting removed from some lineups. But for some reason, Saber Sim's still not showing Jeffers. So now what I actually need to do is I need to go back and actually get Jeffers because they probably haven't gotten that update yet. And then I need to go and apply and remove that download too. So now I get him out of the 5 lineups that he was in out of my max lineup. So now I just have to go and do that upload. So that quick swap tool will save you, especially in these late minutes where you've got 5 minutes to spare before something's going live. Give you a chance to get in there and get what you need.
Awesome. Yeah, guys. So if there's no other questions, I think we're going to get out of here. Me and Mark got to finish up our lineups, at least for baseball. I know he's probably got his NBA ones in. We didn't answer any NBA questions, but if you had one, you could throw it in. Maybe one more minute, guys. If you got a last minute question, are you good, Mark? Or are we thinking one more minute? Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I think I've got all my lineups in now. It's just a matter of getting in these last couple adjustments here that I got to figure out.
Okay. Yeah, because I kind of talked about the slate guys. I gave all my plays and stuff, everything, and I just got to kind of put my lineup together. I'm gonna do one lineup today and DraftKings. So,
all right.
Thank you guys, and good luck today.
Yep. Good luck all. We'll hopefully have some sweats in the Discord later.
Let's get it.